All right, yeah, so for event listeners, just to even get started, we have to link our JavaScript file to our index.html page, and that creates two objects in JavaScript that we can use, namely the document, which is what? It's our HTML page as what kind of data type? Yeah, as a JavaScript object. What's the other object? We didn't go into detail on it, but it's there. Window. What is the window? Close to, it's the browser. It's the whatever client they're using to access our website. So document object model. Okay. Review there. Now, when we're doing DOM manipulation, we need to be able to grab elements, which we covered. So let's cover again some out-of-it listeners with the standard click me button. And how do we want to select this? What options do we have in selecting this in our JavaScript? Class, ID, or tag name. So I like to be specific when I need it, so I'm going to give this an ID of my button or my BTN. And then I'm going to go grab it in my JavaScript. By first declaring a variable so I can store it. I'd like to be able to use this after line 1. So the only way to do that with this is to store it in variable. So I'll say my button is go look at the document and get element by ID. And then we get the string what our ID is. So my button. So this is new content today, but how's it feeling now that we're seeing it maybe the second or third time? A little more understandable. Good. Okay. So what is this variable as of line 2? What is this literally?
My button. Oh, the button.
Yeah. It is literally this button here in JavaScript form. So it has an ID of my button, all that. Okay. I would like to add an event listener to it. And we're thinking moments of time. I want this to do something once requested, once the user interacts with it. So first I say, this is the element that I'd like to have listening for events. And then what is the method to add an event? My button dot something. I'm going to add a click event to this. Add event listener, yeah. Add an event listener. Listen for a certain type of event. What is the first argument this takes? Exactly, the action or the event. And these are again preset words. You probably saw some W3 looking for the mouse events. So the one we're going to use is click for the first example. And then what's the second argument?
The function.
Yeah, what do you want me to do when this button is clicked? We express that in the form of a function. This one doesn't have a name, so it is a anonymous function. All right. Now, whatever we write inside of this block of code is what occurs when the user clicks said button. And I know a lot of us maybe started off with something like this, where we had a console open, and all we did here was say console.log, hello, and then I can click this button and see hello show up in the console. So that's fun. How many of you ever looked at DevTools and knew that DevTools existed before coming here? Yeah, no user's going to immediately look in there to see what your program is doing. So again, that's just for us. All right, we're going to immediately take this to kind of where we left off. What we'd like to do when we click this button is have H1 show up on the page. And when we keep clicking, they keep getting added. Just to reiterate on that. So first off, does my HTML need anything else before we begin?
A div.
Why do we need a div?
Parent.
We need a parent. We need something to put our H1s into. Without a div, where would we be putting our H1s when we try to get them on the DOM? Maybe the body, and then it's just kind of floating in here, which I guess isn't the worst thing, but it's hardly a thing you'll do. So let's create our own div. And this is where all of our content will be placed and created in JavaScript. This is like our anchor to the page where we can put stuff we're creating it, that we're creating. So I'll give it an ID of list. Great. Now we have everything we need to get started. Something the user can click on and somewhere to show the result. So if we're going to get this out, we'd like to have this, we know the final point, we want the H1 to show up on the page, maybe with some color. What is, if we had to pseudocode this, what is the logical step we follow? What's number one? Create an element. Cool. Before we actually implement that, once we've created an element, style it, edit it. Yeah. So all generalizes edit element, which can include style, event. That's right. Add events to things as you create them as well. So they come with events all down, classes, attributes, etc. A lot in the etc. portion. And once all that is done, what's the last step? Translate. Yep, append it to the DOM. The document object model. Okay, so let's implement it. What is the JavaScript method for creating a HTML element? How do I create an H1? So get element is saying this exists already, go find it for me. Create element, yeah. I can't just say unfortunately create element because it's like I don't understand what this is from. But if we say, hey, document, create an element, JavaScript knows what we're talking about now. Oh, we're going to create an element for the document. And in here, we just put the string representation of the tab we want to create. So I'll say H1. And in order to use a favorite, we need to store it. So I'll say var my H1 equals whatever this gives me, which will be an H1 tag, just an empty tag. How do I add text to a tag? One way at least. My H1 dot text content is a quick one. That's not a method, it's just a property, so we can set it equal to whatever text we want. Great. What if I wanted to change the background color of the H1? How would I write that? H1 background dash color. Camel keeps it. Cool. Dodger blue this time. All right, step 3. I want to put it on the DOM. Do I have everything I need right now in my JavaScript file to do that? No, what am I missing? Cool. So I can append child. It's trying to figure out what I'm doing, but it's doing so well at it. So what do I call append child? My anchor, the thing that already exists on the DOM, I'm going to say you append child H1. Put that inside of it. So I need to select this first. I need to have access to this in my JavaScript for this to even work. So first, before I do the appending, let me make sure I have my div. So our list div equals document.get element by ID. What was the ID again? It was list. Okay. List. And now I have the parent and the child. So let's first, is it listed.append child or is it my1.append child? Yeah, parent append child. So parent div append child my H1. One that I created, the one that I created, edited, and now having to show up. Why am I not saying it yet? I haven't clicked the button. Okay. Getting all breaks. Pretty cool. Now, what would happen? Let's iterate and do this function, actually. This is an anonymous function, right? Written right in line. What's the inner option there? You can list the function somewhere else. Give it a name. Sure. So I can give it a name function. If I cut this out, put it down below, all I have to do now is give it a name. I'll call it generate H1 for Rick. And then here I just name the function, generate H1 for Rick, and parentheses and no parentheses.
No questions.
Yeah, you can see already for me with parentheses, now the button doesn't work. That's a bummer. We just get the function reference, it'll do what it needs to when we click it. Okay. So seeing this through here, this one last time. What if anything isn't just like, okay, I can see how that's working. Is there any place where it's like that entire line makes absolutely no sense? There's no shame in that. I just want to catch it early so we can talk about it.
I still can't get this in this.
This right here.
No, that was before this get out.
This line.
Yeah. When it was get out by
Yeah.
because if you look at the date, so this button is about so that
Yeah, the one's above the div, and that's fine. That's just what we're seeing here. The div's right here. Well, the big difference is, or the important part is where we're trying to put our content. That's the one I'm going to grab. So it would make sense to grab this for it. The div's right here. So I'm going to say, hey, grab this item and start filling this all of H1s with the word Rick in it. Every time I click the button, this is what's literally happening on the web page. If we open up DevTools, this is what we can see, right? Click this now. It's just going to keep adding to this list with the styles we added as well. That makes sense? Okay. Yeah, and it's kind of fun to see this. It's like my HTML is so blank, but really once your app is up and running, it's hundreds of lines long because your JavaScript is generating all this stuff for it. Okay. How were the mouse events, those of you that were working on it? Did you find it easy to, not, I shouldn't say easy, but were you able to find it?
I think it's the last.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go over probably callbacks for the lessons. It's the singular keystroke event. So like the event callback.
Oh, the event.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's what we're, perfect. That's what we're getting to. Did the site ask for like button clicks?
yeah, those.
Perfect. If you got to that part, here's how we do that. You didn't, here's how we do that. I just want to get the sign up pulled up here so we know we all are on the same page of what we're doing. Here it is. Okay. Was it this one here? You should really press the first letter of color. So R should turn the box red. Okay. Yeah, so let's look at how to add, let's look at a key down event. Because there is something about event listeners we haven't talked about yet that is huge. Because we mostly just kind of want to get down this syntax of how they work. But let's talk about something else, or a big part of this. I'm going to make another div. This is going to be similar to the exercise. ID box. I'm going to go to my CSS, grab the box, give it a few dimensions, and border. Okay, got my box. Now, it doesn't matter where I'm on the page, as long as I have my window open, I should be able to hit the letter R and have this turn red, or the letter B and have it turn blue. How do we do that? Well, every time an event is fired, click, the event handler is fired in conjunction. The event handler is just a fancy word for the function we wrote that tells it what to do when we click the button. Well, this function is given information about the event. Most importantly, where did the event occur? What element did it occur on? Being the biggest part. We just have to use it. Right now, we haven't been using it. So we're going to come down here and play with the box to use it. First, let's grab our box. Document.getElement by ID box. And we'll add add a listener to it. We're just going to start off with a click for now, and then we'll look at the key down. Okay, so this function that fires, whether it's this function or a named function, these receive something called an event object by default. If we put the word there, we can use it. If we don't, it's not available. So you just want to make sure we name the word event. But now, let's do this. I'm going to console.log event. And open the console here on the left. Okay, so if I click in this box, I got a mouse bit. So this is the event object. Let's see what data it gives us. Okay, the X and Y of where we were hit pixel-wise. So I hit right around 93 pixels from the left-hand side, about 109 pixels from the top of the screen, giving us an X and Y of where it happened. Kind of what clicked through, its offset from the sides, where it's the screen. And then lastly, target. Inside of this event object, there's a target. The target, what is this? The target is the literal thing you clicked on, or whatever the event occurred on. So now I have my div. Event.target is the div. So every type of event that you use, any type of event listener, regardless of what this is, the function that's called will always receive an event object that has information. We'll use this all the time in the future. So using this event object is how we figure out what key did they press. Did they click the R key, G, B, whatever. So let's do that. Let's add a key down event and play with it. I'm not going to add this to the box. Instead, I'm going to add this to the window. This is going to be a key down event that runs a function, receives the event object, and lets us look at the event object. Any questions about how I set up this line? Any words that don't make sense? Cool.
You say window is the console window?
It's the whole browser, which I don't want to confine key down to being in this box. How do I know they click the R key inside of the box? Doesn't make sense. So I just say, window, the whole browser, listen for keyboard events. If they hit this button, I want this to happen on the website. So key down is typically something you add to the window, because it's not like a particular element listening for it. Okay, let's open this up again, go to console. And now I'm going to hit the letter R, for example. Now, instead of a mouse event, I got a keyboard event. It says the key you pressed is lowercase r. Cool, let's look at more of these. Okay, the event.code is uppercase key R. The key was lowercase r. The key code for this in code characters is 82. That's lowercase r. Cool. The event.which is 82. So this is specifying what key was pressed, just like these other ones we saw. Key R, R. So the question is, which one do we use? Do we use event.code? Do we use event.key? Major consensus says we should use the which, even though it's a number. Most browsers support this, where the other ones may not be supported. So if we want to support more users, we're going to be using the event.which to check which key. So 82 is R. I'm going to make a little note of that. And then I'm going to hit a couple other ones. So lowercase b, I'll open up this object and go down to which is 66. 66 is B. Now let's do one more, maybe G for green. Go down to the which, 71. Okay, now, if R is pressed, we know this is working, it's console logging the end for us, but if R is pressed, I would like this box, namely this box, to turn red, background color. So what does that sound like? Yeah, this event list. Conditionals. If ask, we have to literally ask our function, what did they press? If so, do this one. We need to name, really spell it out for it. So if, and what part of the event object did we use to get these codes? Do you remember? The which. So we'll say if the event.which is strictly equal to the number 82, then do something. Well, what do we want to do if the key is 82? Make this box red. So how do I, what's the code I'd write here to turn that background color red? Yeah, box.style.background color equals red. And I can test that right away now. So I'll click back in the window, hit the letter R, and the box turns red. Cool. I know I say this matter of fact, it's not, but I just sound that way sometimes. Else if the event.which is 66, we want the box's styles background color to be blue. Else if, as you can see, if you wanted to account for every number on the keyboard, this would take a few minutes. And now we got our three colors covered. I got RGB, oh, come on, equals, broken code, RGB, yeah. So this is nice. We're adding the event to the window, but we're not affecting the window at all with this event, are we? We're not changing, what are we changing on the window event? We're changing some element, yeah, doesn't matter. But we're adding it to the window, so our program's listening for it. When it does, we can affect whatever we want. This box, we can affect this button, this div.
So when you put a bit in the parentheses, the function that's connected to the window.
Yep, that's the one with it.
So you can name that whatever as long as those two are the same.
Yeah, you can name this whatever. However, you always call it either event or E. This is like the standard convention for JavaScript. We'll see E a lot more often than event. I'm going to keep writing forward out for a day or two so we see it, but very close to be writing.
So what if you want to connect different events, different element events to the window? Should be like event 1, event 2.
I'm curious on why we would need that. I think I see what you're asking, but these are just.
I'm not sure if that would ever be necessary. But.
Yeah, there may be there's certain events that may need to react to other events occurring.
Right.
The way that we do that is like we do here. This event triggers this event. This wasn't an event being listened to. It's when we produced off of the event that was being listened to. It's listening for a key down, key affect the color. Typically, these two objects will never have any part to play. It's going to happen at two different moments in time. It's just a little snapshot. This is what just happened. If you need any info, I've got it.
An event can be used in separate blocks because it stays within its own block.
Yeah. As far as the function goes. So most of the time we'll be adding it to elements. Every once in a while though, particularly for key down, it's to the window.
Never mind, that's it.
All right. All questions are related.
I didn't see that you put the box on style background color in that window.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was connected somehow to the other.
Oh yeah, they got. Cool. Did you guys go over switch statements with conditionals? Yeah, just curious. So this is really the basis of events. I know if you ever say something like this, that's old conventional work on key down. So you can't say on click, on mouse over. If you're going to say any of those, it's just click or mouse over. We want key down to this. Okay. Yeah.
So, I tried like putting in the text in JavaScript, like lots of text, and then it changes the like it's like as if it can contain like the characters. If it's lots of instead of saying like hello,
Yeah.
it's like a paragraph.
Oh, how to append like an entire paragraph of text into an element? Is
Yeah.
that what you're?
Yeah.
It should be the same. Let's see.
And it's
So like right now, this H1 is getting Rick.
yeah.
I wonder.
It was like
We're gonna give it so many Ricks and see what happens here. Okay. Yeah, so it should be able to support any amount of text, but let's see.
is it because it's like
Yeah,
not spaced or something?
maybe it might have just been like a missing quote or something. I can look at it with you. But yeah, any amount of text should be supported. Interesting. All right. Is there any other questions on the basics of event listeners? How we set them up?
So, did it actually query?
We touched on them briefly with the DOM introduction. Query selectors. Does anyone remember the two query selectors we have? Document dot query. It's these two right here. They work for IDs, class tag names. So if I want to grab all classes, query select all by my class, whatever the class name is. That's good. Just like saying document.get elements by class name gets you a whole array of those. Where the other one, query selector, will get a singular, so you can give it, an ID. Sorry, this would have to be a dot. You have to tell it this is a class, this is an ID. But it works just like the other ones do.
So could we use a query selector to do this assignment?
Yeah, like this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I could say, actually, let's do it down here on the box. So it's an ID. So I'm going to say document query selector. Then I have to tell it it's an ID. So get it by the ID box. And this will still console log to me an event when I click on it. So this is still grabbing it. Okay.
Which is more often than a real application.
Yeah. Where you're going to be, like where we ask you to be right now is mostly get element by ID, but use what you like. If you've ever used jQuery, this is a lot closer to it. Using a query selector, one word to grab a class ID word tag is really nice. But it's up to you, really. I won't, if I see just this and don't get element by ID, I'm not going to say anything because you're still selecting elements. I'm happy about that. Okay. I'm going to stop share so I can put this recording up.